Welcome back to Six Speeds and Sceneries. I got bad news for you. Let's get into it. So, turbo, 76mm turbo. That is what was going in here. As you can see, we started making a header. We got to this point. Last couple days I drove the car, there was a little knocking. All right, rod bearing, crank bearing, you know, let's check it, see what happens. Drained oil, oil's perfect. I mean, absolutely spotless. It's exactly what you would expect from a motor that's got roughly 400 or 500 miles on it. You know, I mean, it's clean. The oil was still clean. I mean, it was still a little brown. Yeah, it was a little sooty, but hey, you know, it's brown. So, this Buick, you know, Buick 455s, big block Buicks are a little hard to get parts for right now. I mean, I'm in a few groups and people's waiting, or have been waiting for a year, 2 years for flat tops or, you know, rods or, you know, set of heads from TA Performance. It's just how it is. Buick parts are not as plentiful as other manufacturers like Ford, Chevy, and even Dodge, Mopar. So, we're changing directions big time. So, you know, I went through this 455. I built it. It ran really good, especially after I put the 342s on it. 342 rear gear in a posi. This thing ran like a scalded dog. But as I said, past couple times I drove it, it started developing a knocking. Oil was clean. Rod bearings are good. Crank bearings are good. Best thing I could come up with is a wrist pin is a knocking. So instead of tearing this down, trying to find a wrist pin, you know, possibly a piston and a rod to replace and putting it back together, I'm changing directions. We're building a small block Chevy. And it's not because I like, you know, I'm a, you know, diehard fan of small block Chevys. I like them. They make good power. They run good. But I like being different. That's why I was putting a Buick and a Pontiac. I thought, yeah, you know, everybody puts small block Chevys or LS's and Pontiacs and calls it a day. I wasn't going to be that person. Now I'm being that person. Yeah. So, what I've got here is a 87 small block Chevy. It's a 350. It's got the roller lifters, my bad. 193 heads. It's just plain Jane TBI, you know, small block Chevy. So, what I'm going to do, nothing special at all. I've got intakes over there. I've got a stock aluminum Quadra J intake. I've got, you know, aluminum intakes everywhere. This one's for a Vortec heads. It's an Edelbrock Performer. Excuse the mess. We was getting ready for a swap meet, then it rained it out. So we've got a whole bunch of parts now that's back here, and we're waiting for the next one to come around for us to sell some stuff, hopefully clean out the garage. But back to this. I'm sorry, I get distracted easily. I'm like a dog, you know. Ooh, squirrel. But anyway, I'm not doing anything special. I'm going to try and find a set of Vortec heads for it, just because I know that they're the best flowing stock heads that Chevy made for standard Gen 1 small block Chevy. So, if I can find them, great. If I can't, oh well. This thing's getting boost. It don't matter. I'm going to leave the stock cam in it for now. You know, I'm just going to take it apart, clean it, check the bearings, check the rod and crank journal bearings. I'm going to check each wrist pin and make sure none of them's cracked or nothing. If I can find someone with a press, and if I've got the extra time, I'm going to take the pistons off and do a rudimentary at-home balance job on it. Measure or weigh the small and big ends of the rod, measure the piston, you know, try and get everything as close as possible, put it back together. Just call it a day. I plan on revving this thing up to about 6,000, 6,500 probably. Yeah, on stock Eternals, I know. Yeah, with stock rockers, stock valve springs, stock cam. This thing ain't gonna run that well until I put boost on it, which that I've got turbo headers on the way. Like, they're going to be here in 2 days. So I'm literally just going to tear this thing apart. We're going to do as fast of a rebuild as possible. You just clean it up. It's sludgy. I've already sprayed it down with engine degreaser. I'm going to just check the timing chain, make sure there's no slop. Check all the lifters, make sure they all plunge. If not, I guess I'm doing what I did with all those lifters for that Pontiac. So let's get started with this. I'm going to set up a time lapse, and you're going to be along with me for the ride of tearing this little thing apart. Let's go. All right, got one head off. Not what I wanted to see, but hey, we're here along the ride, so, and the motor still turns over, so I know it's salvageable. I'm just gonna have to hone it out. I'm not boring it, that's for sure. Now, it's a little crusty, especially this cylinder. It's definitely had water in it, so, but at least it's salvageable. At least I can do something about it. But hey, I got the head off. Let's look at the head surface. I haven't even looked at it yet. Oh yeah, it's definitely salvageable. Oh, that's not what I want to see. God almighty. Someone ran this thing bad. All right, so now I'm going to start on this other head. All right, got the other side off. This side looks much better. One cylinder with some spider webs. This motor's set without an intake outside for, you know, a while. I don't know how long exactly, but we bought it off of a friend, so I trust it ish. Said that the motor ran before, you know, the guy that he got it off of pulled it. Oh hey, yeah, there ain't even a ring ridge. Maybe just a smidge, but that's fine. You know, this would be a good candidate just to hone out and put back together. Now, I am going to see what parts I have lying around. I have a full serpentine belt system over there for one of these, so that's perfect. I already have a serpentine belt. I don't have to worry about V-belts. That's fine. Yeah, so I'm going to start taking the oil pan off, see what I've got to work with down there. I'm crossing my fingers, they ain't too bad. But we'll find out. So, all right, let's get to it. So, it's off, the oil pan's off. The oil pan looks horrible. I mean, it looks fine, just, it's got a lot of gunk in it. So take a little bit of cleaning. I mean, the bottom end, perfect. Cylinder walls, some rust. I can clean that out with a hone. So I'm not too concerned about it. Should be a pretty good motor. Once I get it rebuilt, you know, I'm going to check all the bearings, make sure they're good. If they're good, I'm just reusing the stock bearings. I'm not putting a lot of money in this. I put a lot of money in that Buick 455, and you see where it's got me. I've got a bad wrist pin. I'm not going through that again. If this thing blows, it blows. Small block Chevys are a dime a dozen. Hell, I've got 2 blocks over there and a block outside. Block outside's a roller. Those two are not. So, but I've got plenty of small block Chevy parts. So if it blows, it blows. I'm not, too worried about it. I will though. Probably once I get in the car, I may start building the block outside. Maybe turn it into a stroker, maybe. That'd be new territory for me. But so far, I'm not worried about it. I'm going to try and get this harmonic balancer off. That way I can pull the timing chain cover and see what the timing chain looks like. Hopefully it's good. And then I'm going to start the process, pulling all the pistons out and pulling the crank out. That way I can check the block. It does make me sad though. This is 2-bolt main. It's not a 4-bolt. It doesn't bother me that much. I mean, I've got 4-bolt main over there. If need be, I'll build it. It's not a roller motor though. I really do prefer roller cams. They just make me feel safer that I ain't gonna wipe a cam out and I can go ham on it the moment I get in the car. I ain't gotta do any break-in with it. So I'm gonna go take me a breather, then I'll get back working on this. So I'll see y'all in just a minute. This is as much time as I've got for today to work on this. It's time for me to go up, get ready for work. But let me show you what I got done. A whole lot of nothing. I got, the oil pan off. I got the oil pump off. Timing chain. I took the timing, the cam gear off about 30 times back on because nearly every single lifter is stuck. I got 4 out and they look horrible. This was going to be a low buck, as low as I can make it. But I don't really want to tear into those. Now I've got a video of me tearing into them for the Pontiac over there. Not the Grand Prix, the 455. So I've already done that. I really don't want to go through it again with those because those are going to take forever. So I may just go ahead and buy new lifters for this. And I'm going to have to buy a new timing set. It's got a lot of slop. But hey, at the very least, I've got the motor down. I've got some lifters out. I'm working on it. I've sprayed it with some make hot juice. And, got it nice and toasty. Sprayed it down with WD-40. Had a little scare. It caught on fire on me. But hey, it's working. Beating them down right now with a rubber mallet, beating them back down, working the cam so it pushes it back up, and it's working. It's got most of them free. These first 2 for cylinder 2 is still giving me issues, but I'm most of the way done. Tomorrow, what I'm going to do is finish getting all these lifters out, get the cam out, get all the rods, pistons, and the crank out. That way I can inspect everything. start cleaning everything and start honing the cylinders. That way, you know, I can get this put together. But that's it for now. I'm going to go ahead and edit this and try to upload it tonight. You know, show y'all what's going on. As of right now, though, the Buick, it's having to be pulled. It'll go into the corner. I'll rebuild it eventually, but right now parts are so scarce for Buicks that I really cannot get a hold of something within time for Power Tour, because Power Tour's a month away. It is May 8th, I believe. May 8th. So I ain't got much time left. So Power Tour is right around the corner. I'm trying to get this thing done for it. Try and get the turbo on it so I can take it at least a day or two, probably 2 days. And it's storming bad. But that's it for now. I appreciate y'all watching. Go like and subscribe. Helps a guy out. But we'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good day.